Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are live in downtown Bakersfield, and this is I Love You Say It Back. It's the podcast. So glad you are with us on this Tuesday. It is Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. How you doing? How you doing? We got a producer, Eric, over sitting on the couch. How you doing?
What is up? I'm doing good, man.
Things
it's a good?
good?
Day. Yeah,
Things
it looks
good?
nice outside too.
It's been a little warm. Not a
Yeah.
fan. Played a little golf yesterday, and it was hot. I was like, well, pretty soon in about 2 months, I'm going to be like, man, I wish it was 80 degrees type of hot rather than 112. But hey, welcome to Bakersfield, ladies and gentlemen. Glad you're with us. We have plenty of great stuff to talk about. Another one of those shows that kind of writes themselves. Big thank you. Big shout out. Our man, Justin. Cake It with Justin just joined us last episode. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out and go check out all the other ones. And but yeah, big shout out to him. That episode did numbies, so that was a lot of fun. We'll have to have him back on. But yeah, we got a brand new show for you today. We have a topic that we were talking about it last episode. Me and Eric, we were in LA about. Was it 2 weeks now or 1 week? It was a week ago, right?
Yeah,
a little over a
it
week.
feels like it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was about a week ago, last Sunday. And we were going to do this topic last week, but then we had the interview with Justin. But we were talking about it on the road up, and this is where the best topics kind of come up from. Can men and women just be friends? Can men and women have a platonic relationship? Nothing weird, nothing funky, no one person is, we're going to dive real deep into that. So we'll get into that in a minute. But it was a conversation that we had on the way up because of something that happened. Conversation got brought up and he's like, hey, what do you think? And I was like, well, hey, stick around and find out. So we'll talk about, can men and women really be just quote, just friends? St. Patty's Day just passed. I got a funny way to connect it into something that I want to talk about. Bruno Mars apparently owes over $50 million to I believe it's MGM. He owes him a lot of money. Black Mirror's coming back. Caitlyn Jenner and Lamar Odom are starting a podcast, and there's something hilarious about it. We have our Shut the Fuck Up of the week. I love Costco, but it's starting to get a little bit annoying. We'll get into that. I have come to accept something that it's no fun to accept. No fun to accept. And of course, we'll wrap it up with our trivia. But before we get into the show, and can men and women just be friends, I want to remind you, we're brought to you by Rev Nutrition and one of our favorite products, Define 8. I stumped Justin, by the way. I was, hey, is this cake? He thought it was cake. Got him.
I thought it was cake, and I knew the answer.
That evil laugh where he's like, can I ask you some questions? What did you do, or what ingredients did you use? And he went, it's been haunting me in my dreams since that interview. But anyways, yeah, brought to you by Rev Nutrition in Bakersfield. Stock up. You're looking to lose weight. You want to put on muscle. You want to lean out. You want to, whatever it is, your fitness goals in 2024, they got you covered all over Bakersfield, Northwest, Southwest, everywhere. Mention the podcast, I Love You Say It Back, and they will get you hooked up with 20% off. Go get our favorite product. The reason why this podcast is just blowing up and doing numbies and probably number one in the world, haven't checked, but it's because of that, right? Truly believe in it. Also, Mattress Space Furniture Outlets, Buck Owens Boulevard in Bakersfield. Prioritize your sleep. The combination of sleep and Define is just, you're going to be unstoppable. So go check them out. Buck Owens Boulevard. They're not rebranding, but they're cleaning up the store. They're just reinvesting back into their business, and it looks beautiful. So go check them out. Buck Owens Boulevard. Our boy C's will get you taken care of. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to catch up real quick. It's been another one of those busy weeks. How have you been, Eric?
I've been good, man. I've just been working hard on, multiple different projects, but
anything exciting? I knew we were talking about you were in Mammoth doing some snowboarding.
Oh, yeah. Man, I finally feel like I put some new moves and experience and progression of snowboarding to the test. It was fun.
Yeah. Mammoth is tough, man. Mammoth is probably the toughest. They got the toughest runs in California. So
I still haven't got a hit. I guess it's gonna have to be a trip for next year. But Lake Tahoe is like a bucket list for me. I heard it's bigger than Mammoth.
Is it?
That's
I've been to both, and I feel like Mammoth was
really.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
Okay. Well, I mean, I've seen the layout at Lake Tahoe, and it looks pretty massive.
I will
too.
say the views from Lake Tahoe once you get up to the
Oh,
top.
I think that might be. Man,
Dog.
Mammoth is beautiful too.
Let's
though.
go. Fuck. We're canceling the podcast.
Yeah,
We're gonna
bye.
go run out. See you later. No, but you're absolutely right. Like, I mean, those are definitely probably top 2 up there. But so you gotta. I saw you did the big run. That was hype. That was the first place that I ever snowboarded, and I had never snowboarded before. So I actually think it helped me in the long run because I did Mammoth. I ate shit. I got lost. And if you ever been lost on a mountain, you know how scary your heart sinks. You're like, where am I going? And then you finally make it down to see people, and you're like, yeah, there's no way down. You have to go back up to that mountain. And I did it like 2-3 times, and I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, I'm never going to leave this mountain.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary. But now that, you go to Big Bear and Mountain High and some of these smaller ones, you're like, oh, I'm an expert.
Yeah. It was literally. Oh man, I don't know how to. You know this part when you have like music playing, and your vibe and energy is high for the day. You're excited, and you're just crushing it, bro. Floating down, and it was fresh snow.
Hold on, back up. Were you listening to music on the mountain, like in your headphones?
Yeah, that's.
You're fucking insane.
You don't do that?
Fuck no.
Why?
That's one of the worst to me. Like, I have to be aware of my surroundings. I have to be aware of what's going on and hear people. Do you have one earbud in or
No,
both?
I got both.
Bro, that is wild.
Now my boy that I was with, he had headphone beanies. Like you could buy them. They're for snowboarding. And essentially, there's Bluetooth speakers in your beanie, so you're hearing music on both sides.
That's
cool.
unbelievable. That's crazy. That's crazy. To me, I feel like I'm using all my senses. Where it's like I'm hearing how this, like if the snow starts to get icy, you can hear it. If I got somebody that's running behind me, or like what if someone's like, "Hey, coming your way?" Like I'm way too paranoid by all that stuff. It reminds me of like I feel the same way when I hike. People are like, "You must be listening to me," and I'm like, "Dude, I don't listen to shit. I'm aware of my surroundings. If a leaf crunches that's like 20 feet away, I want to hear it, and I'm like looking, leaf shuffling, like I'm paranoid and I need all my senses. But I mean I get it. It sounds dope, but I can't bring myself to do it.
I think it's one of these things. Snowboarding, does it really even matter at that point? Because most people that are not great at snowboarding, they're gonna hit you when from behind, regardless whether you're paying attention or not.
Yeah, but you can move out the way.
Yeah, but most times you're not looking behind you when you're going forward, though. Most of those people that are hitting you from behind is because they're going fast and they can't stop. And I've seen it. Like even when I went out this last time, my buddy it was his first time. He landed.
Call him out.
Yeah, it is. And my boy Adrian ate shit and cut this dude's pants open, bro. And I'm not lying. His board sliced through the dude's pants and hit the little girl that was like kind of down there.
Oh, this is getting worse.
Yeah.
This story.
So,
and then he killed 3 grandmas.
We just went to their funeral. I'm just kidding. So,
R.I.P. R.I.P. It's been a man. I feel like the last like 2-3 weeks have been like nonstop. One thing on top of, which is a good thing. You know, you're in this space as well where it's like, if you don't have something going on, it's nice, but it's also like, okay, something's wrong here, you know?
Yeah.
It's like you need to constantly be doing something, whether it's like something with work or the podcast or even something that like this weekend we got together for our little golf trip in Solvang, which I'm going to get to in a minute. Not great. And but yeah, it's been like nonstop. And I feel like last night, I tried to go for a run last night. So quick little update. Last month in February, I ran 100 miles, and I was really proud of it because it was a short month. It was 29 days, and I was like, oh, dope, you know. And this month, I'm so far behind. So last night, I was like, I'm gonna get myself back in the groove, back on track. I'm gonna put together 8 miles. Bro, I get out there. I'm not joking. Probably within like the first 3/4 of the mile, my legs were absolutely dead. I had nothing. And it was crazy because I've never, anytime I set out to run a specific amount, I'll never do less than what I set out. So like for example, if I say tonight I'm gonna do 4 miles, sometimes I might do 5. Sometimes I might throw in an extra 6. But I never go out and do 4. Or say I'm gonna do 4 and then end up doing 3. Like never in my life has that ever happened. Last night I set out to do 8 to get myself back on track. I can only do 3.5. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I walked like the last like mile. I had nothing in my legs, bro. I don't know if it's because we were playing baseball, golfing all weekend. I don't know what it was, dehydration. I don't know, but I couldn't do it. And I'm starting to get a little scared. And fair point though, I didn't have Define. Daniel, I thought I left it in his car, but apparently I didn't. But anyways, but yeah, I played a little golf, got my heart broken. I think I like being treated like shit, like a bad relationship. You just keep coming back to it. You're
we
like,
love toxic.
yeah, I love like,
As human beings.
I know that golf is gonna hurt my feelings, and I know that it is gonna break my heart. But guess where I want to be I'm thinking about golf right now. Got the golf club sitting right across from me. We won that from a tournament that we won. So yeah, just kind of like enjoy like the toxicity. Be like, oh yeah, you treat me like shit, you little bitch. I'm coming right back.
Yeah,
I'm coming back.
Man, it's just one of my. I connect this with what I tell people. Do different things, try new things. I didn't start truly snowboarding till 2021, and it's one of the freest, dopest feelings I get when I get to go out there every season.
Yeah. Snowboarding is awesome. Yeah. We're gonna have to do it.
We had a fun time. You're pretty good too.
See if we can squeeze in maybe one more run before the season ends. We're running out of time.
Anywhere, even if it's
already starting to get warm. So this podcast is geared towards, we talk relationships, we talk men, women, situations like that. This is the topic. This is a conversation, and I knew it was gonna be good because me and Eric had an organic conversation. We weren't sitting down like, man, what are we going to talk about on the podcast? We need to write down topics of what. No. We were driving to LA and the topic not randomly, but it came up organically. And it was like, you were explaining a situation that you had gone through and you were just trying to get my thoughts in it. And I was like, this is a great conversation for the podcast. Now, this is a conversation that's as old as time, but I thought it'd be great for us to give our thoughts, our inputs, our experiences on can men and women be just friends? A platonic relationship that has no strings attached as far as, intimacy or anything like that. And I thought the answer that you gave, because as always, I feel like me and Eric are kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to a lot of things in perspective, and I think that works. That's a good thing. So I think that they can. I think you can have a platonic kind of best friend type of relationship with, in my case, with a female. Like, right? We're talking about heterosexual, like, relationship with the opposite sex. But before I get into why, just surface level, I've had some of the best relationships that I've had, or some of the best friendships that I've had. 3 of my best friends are women, and I gave you that example, and then just the conversation just kind of went on from there. And you made some valid points, some really good points as far as like yes or no. So I'll pass the question on. So Eric, your thoughts, can men and women just have a platonic relationship? We're just friends.
Okay.
Because then you get into the whole relationship and how someone else who they are dating is going to feel about it. And that just opens up a whole different can of worms. So go for it. Yes or no?
Okay. Let me start off with saying this. We acknowledge that there's a lot of layers.
This is such a absolutely layered conversation. There's a lot of nuance to this.
And so you can't necessarily talk about this subject without saying there's so many factors that play into this conversation. So we're not going to get this conversation right. We're not going to finish it probably with anyone happy or having their own stance. But I will say this. You got to take into account that we're emotional creatures. We're sexual creatures. Everything we are built on as
Human
human
beings.
beings is somehow correlated to intimacy, sex, or reproducing. Is what it is,
Right.
right?
It's our purpose in life.
Yeah. So
Which is kind of a horny way to be like,
it is.
oh, to
Yeah.
fulfill your mission, you need to be horny.
Okay.
It's like, geez.
So notoriously, if you look at love stories, movies, books, real life, you look at war stories. Someone dies, the best friend and the whoever was left, the wife back home or girlfriend, they end up hooking up. All these little things that I feel like connect back to men and women friendships, relationships. And so my answer to this would be, it depends on who is allowing the friendship to be best friends. So I think that men can have women as best friends. And we'll get into this part. I don't think women can have men as best friends. And I think sometimes this is also played into experiences and in relationships you've had previously, or things you've seen or know about within other friendships of men and women. So for me, this is going to be our main topic, I think, of men being able to have best friends as women. I have best friends that are women that are, I guess you could say, attractive, and I don't see them in that way at all. I also think that women have men friends that are attractive and can say they don't see them like that at all. But the difference is a woman could be friends with a man knowing that the male is attracted to them. And that already throws it off no matter what.
So if she is in control as far as like, I know you like me, but I'm not gonna let you.
And you'll never be able to cross that line with a woman, because a woman is the one that allows a man to be physically or emotionally connected to them. So outside
That's
of this,
a really good way of wording it.
and if you think about this, a woman is the one that allows a man to have sex. Outside of that, you're going to call it rape. So a man is never really allowed in that space with a woman unless a woman lets it happen. An emotional space is a very sacred place for a woman. To allow a man in that space emotionally, same thing. They have to allow it. Are they going to say they're vulnerable? Are they going to talk about the things that they're feeling or going through, whether it's in another male? And I think we should say this too. We're talking about, can men and women be friends within having their own actual relationship, correct? Having a boyfriend and girlfriend, wife, fiance. I think at least I think we should keep it within that. I mean, you can have them outside of it.
So then that changes kind of my response to it, which I'll get to in a bit.
And I only say that because in the reality,
because that's when it gets complicated.
Yeah,
that's the only time it really matters.
And it's the only time it matters. Thank you. That is the best way to say that part. So on the flip side, men, and you're going to go into this because you're the one who kind of brought it up originally, and it's just something nobody wants to hear, but it's very true. Men can have best friends that are women because women don't really care about their man having a best friend that's a female unless they're really good-looking females. If you have an ugly best friend that's a girl, and I'm not saying this any kind of way, or a heavy set best friend that's a female.
Jesus Christ.
Or let's just say unattractive. Let's just say an unattractive female best friend. Your girlfriend is not worried about her. It just is what it is. Like, I've never seen any girl care about their man's best friend when they're either lesbian, fat, or ugly.
But that goes both ways, where it's like, it could be, like I could have a girlfriend, and if she has a dude and he's unattractive or he's whatever, then I wouldn't probably really be. It's like, well, that's never gonna happen. So that's just the reality of what we're speaking on, as far as like, it gets complicated because when there's two attractive people, there has to be a party that isn't interested in either one. But the truth is, and I'm gonna tell you all my experience. Like I said,
and real quick, I just want to add this to what you just said. How many times do men walk around and be like, how the fuck did he get her? Women don't care about looks. There's a difference in that too. That's another layer. As much a girl will get with a guy because he makes her laugh, and he's a good guy. Girls don't want to worry about a good looking guy having all these options and stuff. That's one of their biggest things. I got a man. He works. He makes me laugh, and we have a good time together. I could be with that guy. And the thing is, they can have an ugly best friend or a guy that's not that attractive, or maybe you see a lot of girls where you're like, yo, she's bad, and she's with the fat guy. She's with the guy that's fucking 3, and you don't know why, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just true. You never see a good-looking dude walking around with a big chick or a really ugly girl. Unless, like, you see, like, these superstars, athletes, they're with their high school or some random chick that got pregnant because they're just trying to get it in. And you're like, oh, he has an ugly baby mama. Well, he probably was never with her. And if he was, it was before he got fame.
Right.
You know? And that's another side of it, so...
We can all only speak from our experiences, but I've had best friends, and like I said, I've had 3 of my closest relationships, friendships, have just been with females. Like some of my closest, like, and you could share things with the opposite sex that you sometimes may hold back or withhold from your guy relationship. So, long story to give you an answer, I do believe that guys and girls can be best friends. I do think there are a lot of factors that go into it, and going into the situations that I've been in, every one of them has either, like, from the beginning, there never felt like there was ever this attraction where I'm kind of feeling you, are you kind of feeling me? Dude, from the beginning, it felt like a whole lot of, I was referred to, bro, like a lot of, it really felt like you were talking to the homies. And from then on, it set the tone for a relationship. And I can speak on myself and I could speak on them. It never felt like there was ever that awkward tension where it was like, are we gonna, we had drunk nights, we've had sleepovers, or, one way or another, we were sleeping in the same place. And I'm not exaggerating this. I put this on everything as Bible. Not once was there ever like a moment where either one of us were like, is something in it? Like, not once, not a single time. But I do understand that maybe this isn't the norm. Maybe this isn't like how things typically tend to be. Now, I've had 3 of them. I've had 3 really, really close relationships. And they come to me talking about their man. They come to me talking about their relationship. They come to me talking about their issues or their highlights. And they're like, oh, me and so just started dating. And now we're, things are really looking, I'm really excited. I think this could be something, blah, blah, blah. Or one of them, and it's shitty because like one of them was even married. Like, and it was like one of my closest relationships. And it just sucks. Sometimes the outside noise doesn't allow you to have a friendship. But it was like kind of infuriating where people, like, oh, you guys are best friends. And it's just like, oh, well, something must be going on. It's like, shut the fuck up. It's like, dude, I hate that I can't love my best friend because she's of the opposite sex and in a relationship. And it does suck. But to be honest, I kind of understand the male point of view or the opposite person, the person who's in that relationship. It's like there's 2 people in there. There's going to be someone who's it's like me and you can know that we're best friends and nothing's ever gotten weird or anything like that. But that other person never knows that for sure. It's like, can you really take their word? Because how many examples of he's just a friend, babe? He's just like, he's nothing. He's like a brother to me. Situations where they end up being together. So can you really blame anyone for being kind of insecure or not believing on it? I get it. I understand it. But in my experience, yes, they can. But I will also say that I agree with you in the point that if it's not that situation, there has to be one person. It could be the guy, it could be the girl, it could be one of the 2 has to sometimes lay the framework. Because I also agree with you in the sense that typically there's a person who's interested in the other. Typically, there's a person who's always, whether it's the guy attracted to the girl attracted to the guy, And one person has to be 100% in on this being just a friendship. And those lines are never crossed. Those lines are never even approached because the line is drawn so clear that it never gets there.
That's the problem. Those lines are never clear. And because the thing is, if it's just friendship, you never have a conversation about that line because you don't think it's ever going to be crossed. Because the moment you start talking about, hey, we're just friends, nothing's going to happen, right? Then you're opening up.
That's awkward.
You're opening up the thought of those things happening.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. I don't want to go into there's this other situation where someone talked about hooking up.
Let me stop you there, and I want you to finish that story. But this is the tough part about being in the city and having a podcast and having anything. When people are like, it gets taken way too personal, where you're like, you must have been saying this shit about, like, dude, we're talking broad. And certain things are like, just, we have to draw back on our experiences. This would be much easier if we were living in LA or somewhere. There's a fucking mosquito around here, and I just killed it.
No, it's like those gnat flies because of plants.
But you're right. But it's like, we have to speak openly and honestly about this stuff, even if we have to draw back on our own personal experience.
So here's the thing. The great thing about this is that as broad as this is, everyone connects to this. Most of these are hidden conversations, and we're just some people that got to talk about it. So I'll give a real life experience, but I'm gonna say this first. And good thing some of my stuff is, I guess, is open anyway because I'm single now. But a very known, and we spoke on this, a very known woman on social media, like a psychologist, where she's always giving really good real life tips and scenarios based off the psychological breakdown of men and women. She's one of those girls that kind of talk about real women situations that other girls don't like to admit, that is real. So she says men and women can be friends.
Can
Be friends.
Yes.
But the problem is this. In relationships, women know the guys that they're friends with that are attracted to them. They know it. They could pretend and act like they don't. They know the guy that is interested in them, the guy that likes them, the guy that goes above and beyond for them as quote-unquote friends. But also, we know this as men. A guy will stick around for years on the sideline because he really cares or likes someone just to have some bit of a moment of feeling like, oh, she cares about me, likes me too, because I think that's an internal thing that we go through, whether it's from past traumas or anything. We want this thing that we can't have. And sometimes, and now let me go into the real conversation after this point. She said that women will never admit to their man that they have a guy friend that is attracted to them or likes them or loves them, because the moment they admit that, the moment that is actually voiced or a conversation that's had, the next thing is, why are you friends with someone you know likes you or in that way or is attracted to you or does things for you because they care about you more than just this space of, oh, I'm just your guy friend, A woman knows that. And the moment that's admitted, that friendship's over. A girl can't tell a guy that, I know he's into me. He's liked me since we're in high school, but we've always just been friends. Okay, well, now as a man, we both know if there's ever a space to be vulnerable or emotional, that best friend is the first person that gets that space.
Yeah, suddenly he becomes upgraded to a different role.
And maybe it's a temporary role. It just is what it is. But now they're in that space to be like, hey, what's going on? Say Sally. And she's like, nothing. Me and Vic broke up, or like, I've seen something and I just didn't like it. And now you just opened up an emotional space to feel comfortable. Now it's her leaning her head on the best friend, crying, hey, let's go to the bar, have a drink, because I just can't deal with this. And all those little things, again, these layers we talk about are opening it up to so many other spaces and things. So let me go into this. I was in a relationship in high school. I guess you could say my high school sweetheart. Had a friend since we were kids. Anyway, I was always cool about the oh yeah, go kick it with your friends, blah 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 blah. And I always never wanted those things to affect like a relationship because you're supposed to be like, oh, like I'm not insecure about this. Like, go kick what you want. Um, Girl hangs out with her best friend. Who's around the best friend usually? Her boyfriend. Who's around the boyfriend? His best friends. You know. And long story short, with that, I was never worried about it. Guy wasn't that good looking of a dude. Uh, at all, actually. He wasn't, I mean, and this is, you know, my opinion, but they ended up, that was the reason why we ended up breaking up. I got
So-
cheated on.
God, that's such
Hold
a
on.
crazy point to.
But here's this. I'm going to take it further. And this is what it is. I didn't let that affect my next relationship. I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm not going to let, this situation with a friend or a scenario or whoever you want to say involved as a man affect my next relationship. Hey, have your friends, have your guy friends, like hang out, whatever. Was really cool about this situation too. Got cheated on by, okay, I got cheated on regardless of who it was, right? But in the end, guess who the person I was with in a 7-year relationship with ended up with?
Her best friend.
Her best friend. They have 2 kids. You know what I mean? They're
Jeez.
together. But he was around the whole time. And I have nothing bad to say about the person. Good dude. I've never spoken bad about this guy. But the truth is, I used to go to his house. He used to come to our house. We used to invite each other.
Oh, wow.
He was at my wedding. But
Oh,
who was the person in the end? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that it's just one of those things. Again, a guy will wait on the sideline, and maybe that's not the thing at first, but clearly there's, hey, she's really attractive. Like when an opportunity came, and this is more for the men's side of things, a guy will take it. It just is what it is, and it's not talking bad about us as men. It's just true,
You know what's shitty about that, and and again, everything we're saying goes both ways. But
For the
if you are the person who who's in a relationship and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go hang out. Oh yeah, he doesn't want to let me do this. He doesn't want to you're like, oh, what an insecure piece of shit. You're not gonna know. And you played the way you played it, and you were the nice guy, and you're like, no, go ahead. I want you to be free. And then you go get cheated on. It's just like, and you were right the whole time. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's a lose-lose. It's like, oh, if I don't want you to go do this, then everybody's going to talk shit about you. Oh, then, okay, yeah, go ahead and go do that. And suddenly it's, yeah, now I'm getting cheated on. And the person that I was concerned about I was exactly right about everything.
Yeah.
But if I would have voiced that, then suddenly I'm insecure.
crazy.
It's like, shut
I'm
the
insecure.
fuck up, dude.
Oh yeah, and it's a rough spot to be at. And let me say this real quick. She never cheated on me with him from what I know ever. They got together after, I left her for cheating in a different capacity. So, yeah, I think it's just a real thing. I've never been in bro. How many guy friends, without saying anyone, have they slept with the girls that you're like, oh, that's my friend, or those are his girlfriends, but then they've hooked up before at some point, maybe,
Yeah.
So again, it's not necessarily the guy. The girl is allowing a man to pass a certain line when it comes to those things being opened up. So I think in the end of the day, a guy can have a girlfriend, because a best friend that's a girl, because no matter how much they even say, if they want to do those things, or there's a slip up on an emotional or vulnerable level, physically or emotionally, the girl, if they truly see that person as the best friend, and the guy's like, they won't allow it. A guy can do these things in a space with a woman when the girl is the best friend. And I'm saying when a girl's allowing a guy to be a best friend, they'll hook up with them. A guy will hook up with a girl that's saying that's my best friend. Again, going back to, they know that guy's attracted to them.
Yeah.
On the flip side, you can have a girl best friend that you're like, oh, she's attractive, but honestly, like we connect emotionally. We detach emotionally different.
Right.
We just do. Girls are emotional creatures. They connect differently. You can be ugly today, and you do something in a girl's eyes that is sweet or romantic that you didn't even take that way, but you're like, you did something that made that trigger them, be like, they're somehow slowly gaining attraction for you. you know, and that opens up that ball game again on a woman's end. But I would love to have a woman in here right now to just talk about this because I know it would be a back and forth, but I think that the psychological breakdown behind this is true.
And we did have that conversation when we had someone here in the studio. It was a very brief, but she was adamant that yes, they can. But yeah, I mean, just again, I do think that they can because again, I can speak on some of my best relationships, some of the best friends that I've had are female, and I love and cherish those relationships because it's simply you can do things and share things that you may not share. There's things that like my best friends that are female that I've talked to that I've said that I'll probably not for any specific reason I just wouldn't say. You can talk to them about, hey, I'm going through this situation, and you get the female point of view rather than just going to your boys always getting the same kind of thoughts and opinions where it's like, oh, you know, you kind of get this one point of view. But yeah, I mean, I think I love the relationships and I love my best friends that are female. So when you ask me, they were asked the question, yes, they can, but there's so many freaking layers to this.
Yeah.
There's so many layers to this. And the flip side of that is if I was dating someone and she had an attractive, like, what was the one thing he said? Like, hey, let's see, when we were talking to her and she said, yes, they can be best friends. What was the first thing that we said? Let's see a picture of this guy.
Oh, yeah,
remember?
yeah.
We were like, let's see him. And he was attractive enough to where you're like, yeah, y'all aren't best friends.
Yeah, he's either gay or you guys aren't. And then I think I threw this example at you. There was a guy, they're a YouTube couple too. He was like, you can't have guy best friends. She's like, yeah, I can. He said, call one of your friends that's a guy in your phone right now, put on speaker, say, hey, do you want to hook up tonight? She called, and I don't know if these are scripted, but I'm assuming it was real. She called a guy. It was you could tell he kind of picked up like, hey, what's up? Like, what you doing? Or like, what you need? She's like, honestly, like, I'm whatever. Did you want to hook up tonight? And his first response was not yes, but outside of a no, this is the closest yes. He's like, are you serious? Right? He said, are you serious? She said, yeah. He's like,
I'll go jump in the shower right now.
Yeah, I think he said like, all right. And then he's like, when he said, all right, the boyfriend's still on, like, he's like there. He's like,
damn.
He was like, delete that, like, what, your phone? And she hung up and they just started kind of all going crazy laughing because it was true.
Yeah.
It's just like.
Point proven.
You can't be a female and act like a guy is your best friend when you don't even really understand how we as men really truly work. Yeah. And that's why I feel like we could give valid responses on men, at least for me. I don't mind being real about it. I think that there's been plenty of situations I've been in where I didn't hook up with a female because not necessarily because they were like a best friend, but because I knew emotionally they couldn't probably handle or be in a situation physically in that space intimately without hurting someone's feelings. I'm not gonna hurt someone's emotions or feelings or play with them if I know, like, when I care about them and they're in that space where, like, I'd prefer this over doing that, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's super layered. It's absolutely insane. Joel?
Yeah, I've seen that too. Wait, what? Whoa. I'll respond.
Tell them we're literally doing the podcast
Say
live.
it out loud.
But yeah, again, lots of layers, lots of nuance to this. In every situation, I understand that my relationships are not going to be the norm. So it's funny. It's one of those things where it's like, do as I say, or do as I say, not as I do. Where it's like, I understand that my relationships are not the norm, and the people that I have had really close to me, I've never felt like they were like into me like that. I've never gotten that vibe at all. And I'm pretty sure that they can say the same thing. And they have happy lives, partners, kids, and everything. And I still can call them right now and they'd be like, fuck do you want? You know, like one of those relationships where it's like, you don't need to talk every day to stay friends, like some related, you're like, oh, well, you didn't call me on my birthday. So shut the fuck up. Like, we all got things to do, like, but yeah. So my relationships with the opposite sex, I understand, are not the norm, but so I can't even speak on like, yeah, this is how I'd always look at it, because I don't know if I would react the same way if it was like I was dating someone who had a best friend. I know I would have some type of feel about it. And you just gave the perfect example of like, oh, if I voice those opinions, it's like, you're insecure, you're this, you're that. But then it's like, if you just let it happen and let it play out, it's like, well, guess what?
Yeah.
Surprise, motherfucker.
It sucks doing that too, because it's this weird fence.
Nobody wants to be that guy.
Yeah.
But then it's like, yeah, I understand. And then the other side of that coin is, look, whether I say yes or no, if they really are into each other and they're going to find a way. Yeah. It's not like me saying, no, this will not happen is going to be like, oh, well, I guess now.
I'll give this for your views. I know there's a lot of women on here. I'll say this, and I wanted to save it for my podcast, but there's no camera on me, so it's cool. There was one situation, and this is probably to my fault, but I think we all go through it. I remember a moment that I went through when I was like, dang, if me and this person don't end up together, like, I think they will. And I always felt that. And in the end, bro, they're together. And I think it's an intuition thing as a human beings. But I'm happy for that person. Yeah. And I'm glad I'm where I'm at, and I'm sitting on this end of where I'm at in life rather than over there. That 100%.
Yeah. So again, just to put a nice bow on it, nuance.
Eric, do you need a tissue?
Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Trust your instinct. And
don't have friends. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, don't have platonic relationships. But
yeah, it's again, it's a fun, and let's end it with this. You can definitely have friends that are men or women, but I think it's very important to know what your moral code is and the values you sit on when it comes to your friendships and setting those personal boundaries for yourself. But this is to women, be very understanding and respectful towards knowing you have a man and if you have other guy friends, because it's a little bit different on the flip side. It just is what it is. Men and women aren't equal. As much as we'd love to push that, a guy only wants you to respect them. And I know women want that too, but at the deepest core for men, they want to feel like their partner respects them, because we have all these responsibilities as men when it comes to making money and having to be masculine and pretend that, things don't always bother us and all these other factors. To give your man less stress in his life, respect, like, knowing he's a man and what you're doing when you do things outside of that relationship, or who you bring around or what you're doing. And it's a vice versa thing. I get it. But
yeah, I was just gonna say, I could hear the female listeners be like, "Well, you got to understand and you got to respect the fact that we're women."
Yeah, and 100% we do. But just also know is when we have the fat or ugly friend, and we're not over here making it seem like we have this friend or this friend. That is us kind of saying like, "Hey, I'm only keeping," and I say this in a respectful way, we're keeping our unattractive friends around, And if you don't like that, I mean, you're insecure. No,
hey, can they be just friends? Yep, but one of them motherfuckers got to be ugly.
Yeah.
One of them, don't matter which one of them has got to be an imbalance somewhere. Yeah. Someone's got to be the gatekeeper of crossing that line.
Yeah.
And with that, we move on. So
Bakersfield, worst dating city in the United States.
Yeah, just a reference back. It's so funny how we're so jaded by like our Bakersfield experiences shape so much of our opinions on these things. And I listen to other podcasts talk about relationships, and yeah, they touch on a lot of the same things, but I feel like our personal experiences and the people that we know and their personal experiences are so much, worse because we live here. Moving on, I wanted to touch on this because I thought it was absolutely hilarious. We just had, do you celebrate St. Patty's Day? Anything for that?
I feel like I don't. When I was going through some relationship issues, I remember St. Patty's Day because I did Lyft driving for like 2 nights
Mm-hmm.
just to get out of the house.
Oh, I know what you were trying to do.
And it was
Go pick up the drunk chicks. Hey,
not
ladies.
no, it was
Need a ride?
Bro, I made $75 an hour on the pub crawl night for St. Patty's Day.
Oh,
weekend.
goddamn.
Yeah, and that was
We should do that. That'd be great content.
Oh yeah, that was 2017. So it wasn't what it was now, but outside of that, I don't think I ever really did. And this last year seemed like kind of sucked. Like, wasn't really anyone kind of out in the way people usually are out.
I think, I had an idea when I was in radio. I was like, yo, we should do like a series where it's like all the DJs. We do like an Uber and then be like, kind of like expecting the person to walk in and be like, surprise, and then they'd be like, who the hell are you? And it's just like catch their reaction and be like just kind of an awkward moment, which I thought would have done numbies, but like a lot of my great ideas, they weren't accepted because it wasn't someone else's idea. Someone needed the credit. But I bring that up because so only because it's Irish, green, whatever, but Irish goodbye. How do you feel about the Irish goodbye? I've growing up in a Hispanic and a Mexican family, Irish goodbye is a big no-no. It's you show up and you say hi to everybody, you shake their hand and you fake it and you pretend to be this and pretend to be that, such well-mannered and this and that. And then as soon as you leave, you say bye to everyone, you shake everyone's hands or you're disrespectful. And I can't tell you how much that bothers me nowadays. It's like, it's all fake. It's like, it's all fake. Stop it. I've become such a big fan. And one of my buddies, his name's Alex. He's the master of like Irish goodbye. We'll be somewhere at a party or we'll be at a gathering, dinner, whatever. Boom, he's there. Next thing you know, he's gone. And I remember I was like, that's freaking awesome. I was like, I want to do that. And I remember talking to him. I was like, you are the GOAT at Irish goodbyes. And he explained, he's like, there's just no point. He's like, and I came across something on the internet. It said that people who do Irish goodbyes save an average of like, is it 2 days a year or something like that? It is some crazy number. And I was like, that is so true, because when you sit around and you say goodbye to everybody, it's like, it's awkward. They're like, why are you leaving? Why you this?
Yeah,
but
they'll keep you.
But honestly, if you just up and like leave and disappear, it doesn't feel like anyone really cares. So, because I know people disappear and I'm like, well, see you next time, But if they came up to me and they were like, all right, I'm leaving, that hurts more. It's like, I'm leaving you. It's just like, I'd rather you just kind of disappear. And I was like, you know what? I'm a big fan of the Irish goodbye, and I'm implementing it, and I'm getting better. It's a skill.
You're a fan of it?
I'm a huge fan of the Irish goodbye. I want to incorporate it more for myself and for like people. It hurts. Like I would try to keep somebody, if they said, all right, I'm leaving, I'd be like, no, why? Where are you going?
So if you're the fan of the Irish goodbye, that means you like leaving without saying goodbye.
Absolutely,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you?
I'm not an Irish goodbye person. It's funny how we're always opposite on this.
Yeah, you're Mr. Perfect.
No, you're just an asshole. So here's my thing, and it has deeper meaning for me, I guess. I don't know how many people have passed away in your life, like friends wise, but I think I don't think Bakersfield helps, but I think the average.
By the way, we're also known for a lot of criminal activity.
Yeah,
death rates are not great.
A lot of my friends have passed away over the course of my life, and I'm talking like even in high school, our friend Perry got shot in the head when we were sophomores. Over there like by Rollerama and stuff in the Willows, but.
Well, this took a turn.
No, but it's just true. Your experiences and viewpoints
You're shaped
on things
by our experiences. Yeah.
So I would say for me, if you could look at the last time you've seen somebody or got to talk to them or say goodbye, it's really important, I think, to make sure you acknowledge. One, there's a really big piece I'm an advocate for, like acknowledge people. I want everyone to feel like a respect thing where I'm like, hey guys, I'm out of here. Love you guys. See you guys another time. Like I literally do it when I'm at the club, when I'm at a birthday party, when I'm with my friends, wherever I'm at, even in a business event. I try to tell all the people I know bye. And if I don't know you, I'll say, hey, have a good day, be safe, My buddy Andre passed away at one of the parties I threw, and I'll never forget being able to embrace him before I walked away from him. I say, hey, bro, you need anything? Let me know. But I love you, bro. Like that was our last conversation, and he died. After like right outside the party. There's like people made stupid decisions. So, anyways, I think it's really important for me to tell people bye or like I love you, be safe, take care. Cause I want to know that I've made the most of every interaction, even if it's a see you later type of thing.
Well, that one got deep. That is a masterclass on how to turn a fun subject into a deep and make me look like an asshole.
Yeah.
No, but it's true. It's like I get what you're saying, but
Yeah.
I think when I talk about an Irish goodbye, it's more so like like I remember just it's really easy to kind of almost sometimes you don't even notice it, and it's more on a surface level rather than like.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's I like Irish goodbyes because I don't care about these people because if they die, I don't really give it. Like that's not what it is. It's just like
I thought you were actually saying that. I was like, geez.
I'm saving time. I'm saving energy. I'm saving weird conversations. Sometimes half the people you don't even want to say goodbye to.
Yeah.
But then if you're next to someone that I don't care about, I'm gonna be like, well, fuck. I want to go say bye to Eric, but I don't really care about that person. And they're like, yeah, shut the fuck up. I'm out.
Yeah.
That's more so what it is.
I think also if you're deep in a Mexican culture, it's just different. You're like, you have to sneak out because there's no way your tia or Theo's letting you leave when they're still like in party mode. It's just, that's why you see the little 3-year-old sleeping on a chair till 3 in the morning.
Music blasting and it's just not even bothered.
Yeah, so I think that plays into it too, to be honest.
Yeah, and I don't like all the fake shit. I hate all the like look how well mannered. And again, going back to that Mexican culture, mira, que bien se porta, mira que like this is like as soon as everybody leaves this room, everybody's talking shit about each other. So get the fuck out. Like, again, shaped by our experiences.
Why did Vic tell me bye? He knows I don't like him.
Yeah. He should have just left, and that's what I'm doing. But yeah, I thought that was just funny. The stat that came out where how much time you save when you Irish goodbye.
Yeah, it was 2 days, right? 2 days a year.
2 days a year, something like that.
Yeah, you're saving 2 days a year by saying goodbye early.
So every once in a while, I'd say maybe every 2 to 3 years, I come to a realization, and I'm sure a lot of you watching and listening do as well. And it's not a fun thing to have to come across, and it's a big commitment. And I've finally realized I need to get a new cell phone. I had the iPhone, I believe it's a 12, right? And it works great, the functionality, and, it's like I haven't really noticed too much of a drop-off, but my charger's starting to give out, right? So it's like I'll plug it in, and it's like it's zzz, 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 and it's miserable to try to be on the phone while also trying to have a conversation. And I'm at that point where I'm just like, look, I've been fighting it for so long, but I've came to the realization over the weekend. I was like, it's just time to get a new phone. And then I'm on the phone, and then it's like, it's just buzzing because it's connecting and disconnecting. And it's like, you get a whole, Dan's the worst about this. He's like, who's texting us? And I'm like, bro, it's my charger. I'm sorry, I'm broke. It's my damn charger. He's like, yeah, sure. Heard that before. But yeah, and then it's not fun because, you have to go get your phone, you have to put it on the plan, you have to switch this out, you have to transfer this, keep some of the pictures, Apple, iCloud this, and I don't like dealing with any iCloud shit, and it's one of the, maybe I should have done this for the fuck out of the week, but like maybe that is when I plugged in my phone and it's no longer charging consistently, shut the fuck up. I know what comes next. It doesn't get any better. The problem doesn't get any better, so... I realized that I have to change my phone, and that is not something I'm looking forward to doing. But, and it is kind of a big deal. You think about it, like this is going to be the phone that I'm connected to for the next 3 years, likely 2-3 years. And in my line of work, with how much I use my phone for either editing or posting or whatever it is, it's like, yeah, it should be something I look forward to, but it's just an annoying thing that you got to deal with. And we fight it for so long, but sometimes you just come to the realization, I haven't had my phone on 100%, and I couldn't tell you how long. I'm like strolling the streets at like 43% on a good day, and then I'm just going around. Eric, what's the first thing I always ask when I come in here? I'm like, you got any battery? You got any? I'm like a homeless man panhandling. I'm like, you got a little juice? Hey, mister, you got a portable charger in there? I need another 10%.
Somebody please.
One of my sad rules is like someone's always got to be connected to the juice. Like I don't care. Someone's always got to be plugged in. And that's just because in my head, I'm like, okay, if you run out of battery, you've already had your phone charging. I need it now. Someone's always got to be on the juice, take advantage of that. So if we're on a road trip or something, someone's always got to be on the juice because I'm dealing with my crappy phone situation. So that's just kind of a crappy thing that I've came to the realization of over the last couple of days. Speaking of negative things, side note to finish that off, I noticed something really funny. I have a really shitty phone case. My phone case is god awful. It's embarrassingly bad. It's if you are watching on YouTube right now, I'm taking it off. The thing is broken. The camera is barely hanging on by the camera protector thing hanging on by a thread. The sides are not even doing anything. This case is not doing anything. And then I was trying to explain to Eric. I was like, "Yeah, dude, look at my phone case. It's just horrible." And then he's like, "Bro, look at mine." And I was like, "Yep."
I guess is the best way to. I guess we can start this. We've talked about it. We'll start doing some documenting on how, but actually mine looks pretty clean as of right now. I feel like after you just let me see yours real quick.
We might just have to take it off and just post.
I don't want to show mine yet. I want them to see yours. Ah, man, mine's pretty close. It's almost like they all break the same way if you keep them over 5 years.
Yeah, it's like they start to fall apart at the same exact spot.
But what kind of case did you have? Did you get? I have an OtterBox.
That's an OtterBox. This is from TJ Maxx, and I liked it because it was organic and like earth friendly.
This used to be an OtterBox. Now it's kind of just a box.
And now it's just
broken. It's
just a sad box.
Yeah, for sure.
OtterBox. But yeah, so we'll have to take a picture of it, and we're not going to say whose is who. We're just going to be like, all right, which one of these is worse? Because they're both pretty shitty. I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all. They're both pretty embarrassing. Next thing I wanted to talk about is like, yeah, we may have it bad with our phone situation, our phone cases situation. Is your phone working fine? Is it?
Oh yeah, it works. It works beautifully.
What do you have?
I have the iPhone. I want to say 12 or 13.
We even have the same phone. That's funny.
Yeah.
But
I will say my screen protector's pretty effed up, but my real screen behind that is, I'm sure,
in perfect
decent
condition.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have a screen protector, there's no reason why it shouldn't. But at least we're not Bruno Mars. We can get out of this hole, right? We can get out of this situation. A quick trip to T-Mobile. I'll be right back on track But there's a report now. Look, by the time that this is coming out, there's been some reports that it's not true. There's the MGM came out and said that it wasn't like, it's not real. It's not whatever. But there was a report that came out that Bruno Mars, who has a residency at one of their hotels, has a gambling debt of $50 million. Gambling debt of $50 million at this casino, and he has a residency at it. And I just thought it was so funny because it's like, this is like being a fat kid in a candy store and having like a membership. And you could say like, I just throw it on, I'm member number 157. Just throw it on my tab. And it never really feels like it comes out of your pocket. Things get dangerous in that situation, and you're like, yeah, I'll take another Hershey's. Yeah, I'll take another Rice Krispies. And I feel like if this is true, we're going to operate under the assumption that this is all true because it's funnier that way. That Bruno Mars just like, and look, don't get me wrong. That's dangerous. You have a gambling problem. You're in Vegas I'm sure he's making amazing money.
Mm-hmm.
I can go out and lose $50K, no problem. I'm going to make that up and more, double, triple, quadruple that in one night in one show on the contract that they have. At some point, he's got to be like, well, just, hey, Bruno, you lost another 12 mil. We'll extend the contract a little bit. And that's when you start to get
But that's where Vegas is the king of making sure they know how to keep their money and also make you spend more of yours.
They're essentially getting a free residency.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
I know he's not making $50 million for that residency.
Oh, he's probably making a couple million.
Yes.
And then Vegas is making, say, close to 10 million every time he performs.
Exactly.
And it's like, and also make us that payment back, you know?
Hey, and by the way, you owe us. And it's just like, yeah, well, how about this time we're not going to pay you and we'll just knock it off the debt. That's crazy. It's honestly an insane story, but
Well,
it is dangerous.
I've heard Dana White and, you know, like the Nelk boys and all, like they have, I don't want to say they have a gambling problem, but they love gambling. Like they all are always at the casino.
Gambling's the shit. That's
They'll
why.
have, and this is when it gets deeper, I guess, into the rich 1%ers. They'll get like $2 million in debt, but because they have money, the casino will be like,
It's
hey,
credit.
yeah, we're gonna give you get $1 million to try to win that $2 million back. Then you lose that other $1 million, and then now it's just racking around. And the Nelk boys have this thing kind of. It does numbers on YouTube. Pretty much they'll go, and I think they stream it sometimes too. They'll go and gamble. Say Dana White's down $2 million, and he has to pay that debt. The Nelk boys or a couple of them that do it, they'll go gamble. They'll be like, "Hey, Dana White owes $2 million to the Cosmo, right? So now they're gambling. They're like, we're gonna win his money back and pay off his debt." And they'll literally be betting, bro, playing, and say they're like on blackjack or something, and then it'll go to, hey, we just need $250K, and they're like, should we just stop and like just get them at a debt of $250K? They're like, no, let's just go, let's get it, and then they win a little bit extra, they pay off the debt. And it's this cool little thing, like they're showing they're just doing it, you know? But it's a scary game, bro.
Gambling is scary. Speaking of gambling, we're gambling this weekend. We finished our golf tournament. Speaking of gambling problems, let me tell you about mine. No, we hit the Chumash after the golf tournament, and I did actually, dude. I was on fire. You can ask Dan. He was like, "Bro, you had like 4 blackjacks in a row. It was crazy." So it ended up being a good little trip when it came to that. Golf was a little bit different, but yeah, good luck, Bruno Mars. I hope if this story is true, you're gonna be working for free for quite some time, pal.
Well, you know
it's
his
a
backstory.
beautiful. He's all perform.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful life. We're looking for something dumb to do. You want to see my robot? Better start trying some new moves, pal.
Yeah, bro, that's bad. You know, some of his childhood stories are his dad. They were living in like it might sound weird, but in the zoo, like on this like hidden spot inside, and they had access. Like I think the dad, like it's something like
Bruno
that.
Mars?
Yeah, they're living somewhere like on a zoo, but no one knew. It was just like a way they could kind of get by.
So they were like homeless?
I can't remember if it was completely homeless, but I know that they were staying on a zoo for a little bit. Like
What's Joel talking about on?
I haven't got to look. Oh man, I'm not gonna pay attention to this guy right now. He just had a funny thought and idea, and he just was in a group text. I think this is not as serious as we thought. I thought we were gonna get something from what we thought with another person.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this person went live and started talking. You know,
almost like what I can do with a golf ball.
oh Jesus Christ!
Actually,
Next
I have a golf ball.
subject.
Can you throw me
No,
that one
I'm
right there?
not throwing it. I'm glad I actually have this with me over here.
So yeah, but let's get into our shut the fuck up of the week, and I've actually alluded to mine a little bit.
There's red on this.
Shut the fuck up of the week. So I'm hurt, man. Golf, you know, I alluded to golf weekend and how much I was looking forward to it. And folks, I played really well. Lately, I've been playing really bad. So I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do at this tournament, blah, blah, blah. By the way, we have our little friend tournament. I have more fun at these things and it's just our group. So people start like, what tournament are you playing? And what tournament? And I was like, dude, it's our little group of boys who are all kind of like, we play with handicaps and everything. So it's all fair. It's all like a lot of fun. But we went out to play the river course at Alisal and in Solving, which Solving is absolutely stunning. I'm going back soon, dude, just to hang out, not even golf. Yeah. And make it quick because I'm going to do my shut the fuck up and then need yours. But so I ended up basically taking a lead. I was playing really good golf. And this course was tough. It was tight. There was OB on either side. I'm not going to bore you with the details of it. I had a 2-stroke lead after 14. So I was surprised. I was like, man, this feels great. I don't know if I ever really felt like I got into a rhythm where I was playing like my best, but I do know that I had a 2-stroke lead. Then I hit the 15th hole, and there's a tree right in my drive line. So if you play golf, you have an aim point, right? I'm aiming for this. Therefore, when I know what my ball does and I know how hard I hit it, blah, blah, blah. So right in that tree line, right in that aim point was a tree. So it ended up like messing me up. I overthought it, blah, blah, blah. Went out of bounds twice, long story short. I ended up throwing the round away. But I knew as soon as I went out of bounds twice, in my head, I was just like I was so annoyed. I was hurt. I was heartbroken. And I damn near threw my my golf clubs away. But I knew as soon as I went out of bounds because that tree was right in my tree line, I knew I was going to be like, that was going to be my shut the fuck up of the week. I was like, when OB, instantly thought like, shut up. That did not just happen. Then I take my medicine. I drop a ball. I'm hitting 4 because I took the distance. And then I hit that exact same freaking tree. And it just ricochets off the tree. And I'm closing my eyes as I'm saying this right now. I remember this so vividly. And I remember my friend Jesse, little bitch ass, saying, that went OB. Shut the fuck up, Jesse. I know exactly what happened. The ball's gone. And I'm sorry. Like, I'm hurt, but
I can tell.
that is my, like, having a 2-stroke lead after, there's only 4 holes left after that, ladies and gentlemen. Held on. And we play for money, too. Like, don't get me wrong. And I wanted to win all the majors this year. Was highly unlikely, but you can't win them all unless you win the first one. I already lost the first one. But, yeah, that was my rough weekend at, but all in all, Solvang's incredible. The weather was incredible. The golf course was incredible. But, yeah, that was brutal. Shut the fuck up.
That was your STFU of the month or the episode. Okay, mine is kind of relates to some of the stuff we're just talking about. This is just a true thing, I think, for men and women. You ever ever been with a female and they're like, I've never, or this, okay, let's do with this.
I know where this is going.
That's my guy friend. Hey, hold on, we'll do, it's kind of a mixer too. He's just a friend. Shut the fuck up.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Hold on. There's that. And then I think this is more of a notorious thing for men with women rather than vice versa. I've never really heard a lot of the other sides of it. But a girl, you could be with a girl.
Be with a girl. No, be honest.
Be with a female, and you could be intimate, and they're like, "I've never done this before," or "I don't do this."
I never do this. I don't hook up with anyone on the first night.
On date, or I don't any other thing.
Throat goat.
Yeah, and you're like,
I never do this.
I don't think this is your first time. You know, shut the fuck. It just doesn't happen.
I never do this. Shut the fuck. Yeah.
You're the first girl I've ever taken on a date.
Where it's like, I'm not like most girls. Sign number 1 that she's like most girls is if she says, I'm not like most girls. Shut the fuck up.
I mean, and I think we're gonna get it on the other end. I'm not like most guys, you know?
Yeah. I've never said that I'm not like most guys. I think that's the corniest shit on earth.
What do you say?
I don't even address it. I'm like,
anything.
if you want to think, I say I love you. No, I say
it back.
if
You ask them to tell you I love you on the first date?
fuck, dude, I struggle with. It's so funny that the podcast is called "I Love You, Say It Back,"
and I don't say it.
I don't.
I don't even tell my mom.
But no, it is funny how like that dynamic works. But yeah, when they say, oh, I'm like, I almost like don't even care. Like, you want to compare me to somebody? Like, okay, go ahead. Like, you're just gonna find out that it's probably not like most things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not to say that it's in a better way. Like, there's a lot of things that aren't in a better way, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not the norm, But yeah, that's a good shut the fuck up. When she says, I don't normally do this, and it's like, Jesus Christ, no. Got my legs shaking, sweetheart.
They kinda do.
You sure you never do
They kind of do this.
They kind of do.
Hey, I've
Girls don't do
I
that.
never do this. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I never do
Very
this.
contradicting.
I'm never gonna do this, but watch this. I'm about
Hey.
to rock your world.
Have you ever seen someone do this for the first time? Yeah.
All right. Costco is getting a little bit annoying. Costco is one of my favorite places, one of my favorite stores, one of my favorite stories. We kind of got to jam through these because we spent so much time on the
I
Can Men
know.
and Women Be Friends, but that's okay. It's a good topic. Costco is, so I had to borrow my mom's card to go pick up a cake for her birthday. And I was like, well, I don't have a Costco membership. I was like, let me borrow your card. And she instantly, she's like, well, they're not going to let you. My brother-in-law told me this. My sister told me this. And I was like, look, I'll find a way. If y'all haven't noticed, I got a way with words. I can talk myself in and out of situations. I was like, I'll figure it out. I'm going to go get a cake, and I'm not leaving without that damn cake. But they made a great point because now if you go to Costco, they say no member, if you're no non-members, like even if you have somebody's card, they're not going to let you check out unless that person is there. And to me, that like my heart kind of sank. I was like, ooh, that's going to be tough to kind of talk my way out of this one when there's a big old sign that says nobody without that member being present is going to be able to buy whatever it is. So that's already kind of annoying. They're cracking down. And I get it, but at the same time, it's like whenever it's almost like Netflix raising their prices. Like we're used to this, and even though it's still a great deal, we get absurdly upset when they're like there's changes being made that are not for the negative, not for the positive for us.
Yeah.
Right. So we're like, oh, this is infuriating. And now they're saying that the food court. So you know how the food court is available to everyone when it's outside.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they're gonna limit that to members only. The time I went, I believe that they started doing only kiosk. Have you seen that recently? So they have the kiosk that you order your food at. So you're no longer going up to the counter and saying like, give me a chicken bake and give me a pizza. Now you're ordering on the kiosk. And in order to order on the kiosk, you have to swipe your card.
Yeah.
And that's how you order. So if you don't have one, you can't just walk up and be like, oh, I work close to a Costco. Now I'm just going to go over there for lunch, grab a chicken bake, hot dog, and churro or cookie or whatever it is. You know, and suddenly now they're going kiosk only, so you're not going to be able to have that hot dog. No more freebies, no more cheap food, delicious food from Costco, and it started to piss me off. It's heartbreaking.
Wow.
And it sucks because, you know, I think Costco's pretty universally loved, but there you go. If you are
Looks
a person,
like IKEA. Next up,
I'm going to be making the trip to IKEA for sure. Wait, do you need a membership for that?
No, IKEA.
We
no.
just walked right in.
Yeah, it's like more of a Sam's Club, Costco.
Yeah, that's dope. I love that. So the other thing that I wanted to touch on, and this was only hilarious because of the title. So Caitlyn Jenner and Lamar Odom announced that they're going to be starting a podcast. And who cares? Everybody has a podcast. I have a podcast. Eric, you have your podcast.
Yep.
LeBron has a podcast. Somebody listening, you have a podcast. Your mom has a podcast. Your sister, your brother, everybody's got a podcast. This isn't anything new. And, you know, when you're kind of famous, it makes sense. Caitlyn Jenner, Lamar Odom podcast is going to be called Keeping Up with Sports. Keeping Up with Sports. And now they're getting grilled because they're like, man, they're really trying to milk that Kardashian connection, you know, keeping up with the Kardashian, keeping up, you know. But I just thought the title was hilarious. And it reminded me of like, it's almost like if a girl who is not into sports was going to a bar, they're like, I want to pick up on a guy. I need to, you know. And then some guy walks up to him or they walk up to a guy and they're like, I have to pretend that I'm into sports, so I'm going to tell them, like, yeah, I have a podcast, or I listen to podcasts. So what podcast do you listen to? Or what's the name of your podcast? And be like, Keeping Up with Sports. Like, that sounds like that's the best you can come up with.
Bro, that's so lame. Because no one wants to hear Lamar Odom talk about sports anyways.
Well, why not? He was a professional athlete.
I don't know. Something happened to him after that Broughton thing, bro. Like, he almost...
He was on cocaine.
Yeah, but I think
he was
something
addicted to
happened.
porn.
I think his brain got fried a little bit. I don't know, but you got to remember, I think he almost literally died. So, he just talks like Doesn't seem like he's all there sometimes.
which is probably why it's gonna do numbies.
Yeah, exactly.
honestly,
yeah, think about it. I mean, that's pretty new.
the reason why I'm struggling is because I'm damn near perfect. There's nothing interesting here. You know what I'm saying? Like there's. Maybe we should start talking a little. Maybe have a little controversy in my life.
Yeah. I wouldn't watch it unless something big happens on it, like the Cat Williams podcast and stuff. So.
I just thought the title, "Keeping Up with Sports." It's like a girl really trying to keeping up with sports.
Yeah, it does not, and you don't even really connect Caitlyn Jenner as one of the top Olympic athletes anymore.
Yeah,
so I don't even want to hear sports.
She's done so many other things that she's so far removed from that, and done so many other things that are bigger in the grand scheme of things. Whether you believe it, whatever it is, it's just like that stuff has gotten She's way more famous for transitioning than she ever was for being an Olympic athlete.
That's cool. You say she. I don't think I've still never.
I think it's politically correct.
Yeah,
it's
politically correct. I naturally, because I think Bruce Jenner in my head. I don't, unless you say like, hey, what's that? What was?
I had to ask you. I was like, what is
Bruce Jenner's?
What's Bruce Jenner's female name?
I still like in my head. I see the guy. Outside of when it was super popular when he transitioned.
But yeah, podcast. I'd be curious to listen to about an episode, just see what's going on. I'm trying to keep up with sports.
Yep.
All right. Loaded episode. Lots of feelings, lots of emotions in this one, whether it's losing the golf tournament, whether it's the iPhone and the new commitment that's on its way, Irish goodbyes. I think we pretty much... Oh, here's the last thing I'm going to say on this before we get into our trivia question, Eric.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the show Black Mirror?
Yeah, I was watching it when it first came out.
Okay.
A lot of the stuff going on now is very similar to the stuff they were.
So, very popular show. Eric nailed it. It's almost like they're predicting the future and kind of seeing the trend, the way that things are trending, and it's kind of a very transparent show. They announced that they're going to be returning in 2025. Cool. Everybody that I've ever met is super loves this show, is into the show, makes comments just like what you just made right now about how accurate it is as far as future stuff. Can I say something? Cancel me for this. I fucking hate Black Mirror. I've never watched this show that gave me so much anxiety and doom and gloom for the future. I'm like, why would I want to watch this? I watched this episode where maybe this plays into my trust issues for real, but I watched this episode where there was a couple and there was technology. I don't remember. This is going to be very vague, but there was essentially something in the eyeball, I believe, where he could watch whatever she's watching, or maybe it was vice versa. But anyways, they didn't trust each other. And everything she thought or saw, he was able to keep track of. So there was teddy bears and he was watching everything. And it was just oh, she thinks he's hot and he's attractive. And it's just it became a cheating thing. And it became always knowing what your partner's doing or thinking or seeing. And I was like, dude, and it sounds great. I wish I knew. And it's no, you don't. You do not want to know everything like that. And it's crazy that episode, in the near future, basically said, we're going to have this technology available. And it just gave me that anxiety. It's I don't want to know. I really, truly don't want to know. Because I'm sure there's a lot of things that people that I've talked to or dated or whatever it is, been involved with in any way, shape, or form that they think, and I don't want to know. That show gives me fucking anxiety, and it pisses me off.
It's just a lot of stuff. There's an episode that they base off technology becomes your social security code. And
I watch that one in that neighborhood,
it's
right?
in China, bro.
Yeah.
They do that in China now. It's crazy.
Your social status is determined by social media. I need to get this many followers to get approved by get approved to buy a house.
It's crazy.
I watched that last summer. That was crazy.
So there's that one. The very first one, the haunted one, they have one where it's really weird. It kind of turned very, sexual fantasy type of stuff. Where this guy, he wasn't gay, but he was able to, go into a video game and live out this other life in there. But he was married outside of the video game. But when he put the video game on, I don't know, the other guy liked him. It was weird, but. Here's the thing. It was he was one of the guys was like a girl, I think, in the video game. So technically, it was a girl, but it was a guy as the player. But everything was so real. It's just weird. But now they have like AI. They have virtual things. It was this thing that I seen also like in China, like they're making a suit where you can actually feel sensation. This is real. Now I'm talking real life.
Yeah.
They're making like a suit that could like make you feel real sensation. And so while you're wearing like VR goggles, you might be able to conversate with someone on this side of the world that's wearing the same thing and can probably touching something else. But it's really crazy.
I'd be touching hella ass. That's my thing. I'd be like, ooh.
Yeah.
Wait, does that mean I have to grab like a fake ass?
I'm assuming,
and they can feel it?
I don't know. That's what I don't know. I don't know.
I'm gonna hit you up at 3 a.m. because we're the only ones awake. I'm be like, hey, put the suit on, buddy.
Put the suit on, my boy. But just make sure you end up being that one girl in the game.
Can you play this character?
Yeah. But I did like Black Mirror. I feel like they kind of got a little too deep. Where I was like, I'm not into this no more. Like I feel like I need something new.
Yeah. I watched this other episode where it was like the Black Museum. Do you remember that one? I feel like they're like, and it was a really dark episode, and they never feel like they have a happy ending. It always feels like, by the way, this is the future. You guys are all doomed, and you guys are all effed. And I'm like, yeah, that doesn't really. I don't walk away feeling it. Like, is it interesting? Is it like kind of like, does it make you feel something? Absolutely, but at the same time, it's like, it's never a good feeling. You never walk out of there like I don't know. I'm like dreading. I don't like it. But that's a beautiful thing about it. I don't have to watch it.
Yep.
You ready for our trivia question?
Let's do it.
That episode was, this episode's been kind of, like I said, a lot of emotions. Before we get into our trivia question, which I'm afraid because I think you might have a chance at it, and it scares me. I think the longer it goes with you not getting it, the funnier and better it becomes. But before we get into our trivia question, brought to you by Rev Nutrition and one of our favorite products, Define, the podcast fueled by Define. You can get whatever flavor you like. We like green apple here. Right now, we just took Hawaiian Punch, all kinds of flavies, all kinds of everything. It's delicious. It's everything. So go check them out in Bakersfield, Southwest, Northwest, wherever you are in Bakersfield. Mention the podcast, and they will get you 20% off your entire purchase, which is huge. Fat burners, you want to get in shape, you want to look good, you want to do whatever it is, they'll get you taken care of. Shout out Rev Nutrition and Define.
Huge.
That's actually hilarious what you just did. You just did a Trump impression. And also, big shout out our friends at the Mattress Space Furniture Outlet, Buck Owens Boulevard. My personal guarantee, those are going to be the best prices you find in town from a legit store. Go check out our buddy C's. Mention the podcast. Get you taken care of. Mattress Space Furniture Outlet, Buck Owens Boulevard. Check them out. Eric, you are on the hot seat. Let's see if you can get this one.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Adults. This is a recent survey of adults. Adults say that this is the number one thing they miss about being a kid. Adults say this is the number one thing they miss about being a kid.
I got two, right?
Two guesses.
Okay. Playing with their friends.
Playing with their friends. Incorrect.
No bills.
God damn it!
Let's go!
Damn it!
Let's
go! No! I knew you were gonna get it. This is stupid.
Let's go.
This is stupid.
I was gonna flip flop those, but I'm glad I did it on the second one. I mean, who likes paying bills? Like I think it's the first time you think about it.
Damn it!
Being a kid again.
It was too easy. I knew it. I knew it.
I mean, if you ask me, that was pretty hard, but teach their own.
Jeez. Well.
This is a historical moment.
This is a turning point.
It
took like 30 episodes plus. And
I think we're at 30.
This sucks. This really sucks. Because I said, you know what? As soon as he gets it, I'm done with the podcast. And,
so this is episode Z, the last one.
Yeah.
Whatever. I feel like I should be asking you, are you really my friend? You just seem kind of burnt that I just got a win now.
Look. This podcast is about numbies, and I think it's hilarious. And people become attached when someone's got a long struggle. There's a streak of any kind. So now it's almost like the dog chasing his tail. What's going to happen when he catches it? He's like, now what? Now what do we do? We got to cancel this. Damn
new
it.
segment.
We might have to change this up, do a trip. I don't know. I'm disappointed.
Hey, I'm like 50 years old. I'm like, hopefully I get this one.
But you already got it once. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, I think when I get to 5, you probably switch it up to something else. Think about it. If I have to get to 5 right, if my average is every 30, like I'm not gonna get it till episode 150.
I'm gonna make them harder.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make them harder. All right. Well, that's our podcast. Fuck you, say. I mean, I love you. Say it back. I'm really upset.
He's a nice guy, y'all.
Yeah.
I promise.
No, yeah. And I'm the issue here, by the way. No, that's a great episode. Thank you guys for joining us. Go check out our interview with Cake It with Justin at Josh King. We got so many other great episodes. Go check out our love language episode. Until next time, we are on socials at ILY Say It Back Pod. I'm at Vic T Radio. That is our producer at Life of Ivera.
Let's go.
It's also, they're all tagged on the whatever podcast that you're listening, like a Spotify, whatever. It's all tagged in there, so you can find us no problem.
Yeah.
Brought in the Creative Haven, brought to you by the Creative Crew with a K. Until next time, I love you. Say it back. Damn it, Eric.
I gotta win, baby. Let's go.
Good night. Que sueñen los angelitos.
See.